Deacon Sakari, we back at it like a crack addict. They done let them bruise in the dough in this wicked industry to shine the light. They done let them bruise in the dough. Oh shit. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. We ain't going nowhere. Hebrews. They done let them bruise in the dough. They done let them bruise in the dough. Look. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Deacon Sakari, new clothing line, The Whole Armor. Put it on. New clothing line out right now. We got apparel for the sisters, apparel for the kids, and of course, apparel for the mighty men of Israel. We got quality material, affordable prices, y'all. Check it out. We got stuff for the Southern Kingdom. We got stuff for the Northern Kingdom. We got exclusivity. All right, y'all see it. Y'all see the brew drip. Y'all see the brew sauce. All right, Deacon Sakari new clothing line called thewholearmor.com. All right, everybody go support Israelite businesses, and greatly appreciate y'all. Shalom. Peace. Cops hop out, we bail on them. Leviticus, I like my fish with scales on them. Ask Chief Ephraim, he could vouch. We be putting in the work while you sitting on the couch. Camp haters quiet as a mouse. Yeah, already shout out to my brother Austin Trout. Just as a reminder if there's doubt, I wear every single fringe even when I'm in the house. Get all your truth music at deaconsakari.com. That's 9 albums. We even got a couple free for y'all. Support the cause, y'all. I see a lot of haters. I knew it would come with it. Rap game full of evil and sin, and I don't want none of it. They bite my style. They just want to take it and run with it. Sakari Varsity Online Academy, specializing in Hebrew apologetics. Come learn how to defend the gospel. Email sakariseattle@gmail.com. Limited registration. Sakari.
We are the children of the one Yahweh.
The chosen.
Ye are the chosen of the one Yahweh. And he has given his laws to us. Now everything belongs to us. We above all nations, all nations.
What?
Above all nations, all nations.
Yeah.
We are the chosen of the one Yahweh. Above all nations.
We finally back on. Children's Bibles with black and brown images. I know a lot of y'all been waiting. A lot of people on back order. We still got some though. Put your order in before it's too late. I'm gonna start having them regularly, Lord willing. Tire Pro Go, a mobile sale, install, and repair company, servicing the New York, New Jersey area. Support Israelite business. All right, y'all. Go to czyn.network. czyn.network. We done with Patreon. No more Patreon. czyn.network. You're going to get videos too hot for YouTube or early releases. So go sign up. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Not only do you get Deacon Sakari's content, you get Guerrilla Hebrew content, Hassad content, other camps putting their content on this platform. We need our own app, so sign up using promo code Deacon Sakari. czyn.network. It's our own app, our own platform. The white man can no longer subvert or hide or try to censor this truth. So sign up and get this heat. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. Promo code Deacon Sakari. CZYN. Praises. Get your commercial played here. Contact SakariSeattle@gmail.com. Introducing Super Thanks. YouTube has now added a feature where you can donate if you missed the live show by just clicking the heart button with the thanks on it. It'll be on every video. It'll highlight your comment to bring more attention to your statement. So if it's on your heart, super thanks. Shalom.
Popping mollies and putting powder in your nostrils. We be in the trenches, needles under benches. We be giving them the gospel. I keep 12 Sakari members with me. We be moving like apostles. True. Some sisters is dead traps, hair rascals, just still a thought though. The church don't even know the truth. They can even tell you an Israelite. And the Arabs selling you all the switches and the malt liquor are the Ishmaelites. You can show a nigga slave ships and the Bible still won't get it right. Until the time's out, then a nigga gotta find out what them missiles like.
All right. Let's try to see if we could get this going in the spirit. All praises. Okay. 1 second, y'all. Okay, let's see. We got that. Mic check. Oh my goodness. I see we got a little bit of a problem. Just a little bit. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about Russian warships headed to America's backyard. Russian warships headed to America's backyard. Somebody says, what does this mean? The end of for the elites? We'll get to that in a second. Let me see if I can scoop my computer up and then right there. Okay, so I did download or start a free trial. So anyway, everybody fall in, climb in, hit the like button. How's the audio and visual? How is the audio and visual? Let's start this out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, our Creator, our Sustainer, our Provider, Yahweh. And we do so by Shema Mashiach Yahushai. That's in the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Deacon Sakari. You see it. Earn your patch. Earn your patch, earn your keep. 613 Flawless, Not Lawless. Make sure y'all go and support Deacon's clothing line. You see the title of the video, Russian warships headed to America's backyard. If y'all have not heard the news, it is true. A lot of people have been sending me news articles and sources on this topic, and it is true. Now, are they on the way? Are they almost there? Are they gearing up to go? Are they planning to go? We're going to talk about all of that today as World War III continues to brew up in the world. So I got this free trial on StreamYard. I'm supposed to be in 1080p. I can't tell the difference between 720 and 1080p besides the fact that y'all can see these bags under my eyes because I'm up late at night working for you. If anybody can tell me who said that, you're a real fan of a particular sport. Working for you. Anyway, everybody's like, Deacon, why are you in such good spirits? Deacon, why do you feel like dancing when there's an inevitable impending doom upon the world known as World War III, or the end all be all wars, or the war of wars? Because the Bible said it was going to happen. The Most High gave me the Holy Spirit to unlock our minds to be able to understand the biblical prophecies and measure the time and what time period we're in and what else has to happen and what's going to happen and what we need to do before it happens. So therefore, we are comforted. This is why the Bible says the Holy Spirit is the comforter, Because if you have the Holy Spirit, you are able to understand the prophecies. You're able to understand to a degree the mind of the Most High, because a word is a spoken thought. A thought is something in your mind. If you want to know a little about the mind of the Most High, even though He is the ineffable, I mean, you cannot understand Him completely. You can at least start with His word, His thoughts that we have in this book. You understand that? So yes, I'm happy about it. I'm ecstatic about it, and I hope they gear up with. We know they got. I think they got. How many Navy ships? How many Navy ships does Russia have? How many warships rather does Russia have? List of active Russian Navy ships, and they have. Okay. They have, whoa. 2, 3. They have a total of 416 ships, 416 warships. Now, are they being forthcoming with the true number and the accurate number? We don't know. We don't know. Let's take a look at how many warships does NATO have. How many warships? So altogether, they have about 2,000. So we have to factor in Russia's allies, because NATO is dealing with 18 countries, I believe. So we got to factor in Russia's allies: Brazil, India, China, Pakistan, North Korea, Iran, Northern Africa, Ethiopia, I think Libya, and more. We know a lot of in Cuba. You got to factor in Cuba, right? Definitely China. So when we look at, let me share my screen real quick, and then let's get into these articles first. And let's get into the Bible. Let's get into the Bible. Okay, we looked at this some time ago, and we're going to look at it again in the spirit of the Most High, right? We're going to look at it again because we learn through repetition and redundance. So we looked at this a while back. This is going to be BRIC versus NATO, right? Now, this is not military, of course. This is the population of the general population. BRICS has 3.2 billion. Now, mind you, this is just Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They now have more key players, but we'll just work with this. Member states, NATO has 30. BRIC has 5. Again, this is old data, but we'll work with this. Defense budget, NATO has 1.3 trillion. BRICS has 326.7 billion. Nuclear weapons. Yasharala Union, the water for the super chat donation. Greatly appreciate you. Nuclear weapons, NATO has about 6,700. BRIC has 7,000. This is so good. And this is in the Bible. BRIC versus NATO. We'll get to it in a second. Military personnel. Here's where it get Mickey at. So NATO has over 6 million. Over 6 million. Yeah, tale of the tape. That's what it is. Tale of the tape. Now the military personnel for BRICS is exceeding 10 million, right? Wadi Rashad, the Waterford Super Chat donation, greatly appreciate you. Hey, Mrs. Kia. My bottle water is on the counter. I see Sister Danny in here at the Waterford Super Chat donation. Greatly appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. It's imperative. It's 3:20. It's done, right? It is on mine, on my computer. So combat tanks. So they've got 4 to 5 million more military personnel. Now we know during these times war is waged more with, unmanned apparatuses, if you will, such as drones. The Navy want to get close enough to be able to launch missiles. It's not going to be ground combat, guerrilla warfare type, So in the time that we're living in, it's going to be drone, Navy, aircraft. So I guess, military personnel still matters because, you still want to have the manpower to operate the drones, the manpower on the ships, the manpower in the tanks, the manpower in aircraft. So that does matter. The water Mayak Allah Salakia. Combat tanks. NATO has almost 21,000. BRIC has almost 42,000. This is good. This is, if I could equate this to boxing, I would probably say on paper this looks like I would have to say Terrence Crawford versus Jerome Boots Ennis. I would have to say that Terrence Crawford being BRICS, Jerome Boots Ennis being NATO. So BRICS has the edge on NATO. Terrence Crawford's going to have the edge on Jerome. But this is just what I'm equipping. Of course, I got Crawford, not because of y'all seeing him beat up Errol Spence like that, but because I've been following his black ass for a long time. So Navy ships, 2,100 for NATO, 1,800 for BRIC. And then submarines, 65 for NATO, 69 for BRICS. Every time I see the word 69, it gives BBL Drizzy. Freaky at, he is 69 guy. Freaky at, he is 69 guy. Hey, run for your life. Somebody said, I think NATO need to let it go. It looks like another TKO. All right, so let's talk about the actual title of the video. Remember, I told y'all BRICS versus NATO is in the Bible, and we are going to go into that in the spirit of the Most High. But let's first examine these articles and see what is really going on. who knows why NATO even wants to? I'm sorry, who knows why Russia even wants to do military drills in the Caribbean islands? Who knows why? And hit the like button if you want this World War III to happen. Here, did I like the video already? Yeah, I like the video. Like the video. Thumb up the video. Don't I sound like AI? But who knows why Russia is on the way to the Caribbeans to do military drills in America's backyard? What happened? Something specific happened. Something specific happened. And y'all don't know. Okay. So we'll just show you. Which video first? Let's go to, okay. Somebody said Haiti, Iran. No. There you go. What's his name? Shaquille Dormoy. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Ukraine was given U.S. missiles, and now Ukraine is targeting Russian territory with those U.S. missiles. So now it's still proxy, but U.S. is ever getting involved. And not just that, listen close. NATO reports are that some NATO countries are now in Ukraine. So Russia is saying those are now legit targets. What happens, everybody, if the Russians target NATO that is in Ukraine? Type it in the chat. Type away. If y'all been following this war and covering it, you should know it rhymes with particle. It rhymes with particle. There we go. Ariala Sakari. It's called Article 5. Article 5 happens. What is Article 5? It's legislative in the NATO defense program or bill, whatever you want to call it, that if you touch one NATO member, you touch them all. They all have to get involved. This is going to be disastrous. But we want it. And the water for Malak Israel for becoming a Sakari Flexer and joining the channel. Go check out that exclusive content, right? So let's play some of this so we can understand why they're gearing up to go over there, right? Let's take a listen. Fair use. This is our thoughts and comments on this content.
Now let's take a look at the U.S. It has a new problem on its hands.
Again, hold on. Where's my banner? Fair use. This is our thoughts and comments on this content. Bombs away. Sister Crystal, the water for becoming a Sakari Flexer and joining the channel. Somebody said analysts think that the U.S. won't actually defend Europe if Russia attacks, which could factor into the horns hating the whore. Go into it and also bring it out.
Russia has now officially called the United States an enemy.
Now, this is very important. This is very important. Russia calls U.S. enemy state. Sakari DTX, the water for becoming a Sakari Flexer. We're going to put all of the debates on CZYN and if you're a member of my YouTube channel, we're going to put them on here first for all the members. But this is crazy, y'all. Russia calls U.S. enemy state, sending troops to the Caribbean. Now, this is also biblical. We know that the East is what they call the East would hate the West and vice versa. So we do understand that this is a part of prophecy as well. Let me turn that down real quick. Den the listener at the water for dropping the dub on the ministry. Greatly appreciate you. If it goes blurry, y'all, because on my end it's saying the my Wi-Fi is not that strong. If it goes a little blurry, please let me know so that I could play the video another way. Right? Let me know if it goes blurry. I have an alternate way of doing things around here, trying to be technologically savvy. Oh, Rider the Prophet, B1 the water for becoming a Sakari flexer. Right? Now, we know that Russia and America don't like each other. And they never have liked each other. I think they did during World War II, the Soviets did click up with the West to take down Germany, the Nazis. Other than that, they don't get down with each other. We know they're enemies, but they're back. This is also Bible prophecy because the Lord said in Ezekiel 38, I will turn you back, meaning they were going to bring the Soviet state back to having that hatred that they have toward the West. So now it's publicly being stated that America is a enemy state. What happens with enemy states? There's no commerce, there's no bartering, there's no trade routes. We all know Russia and China has been dropping the dollar and trading with other currencies. Malak Israel at the water for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you again. May the Most High bless you. Right. So let's hear this information. And then I want to hear from the smart individuals in the chat. Right. It can't just be me.
Now let's take a look at the US. It has a new problem on its hands. Russia has now officially called the United States an enemy nation. This came from the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov. Let me read out the translation of what he said. And we are an enemy country for them, much like they are for us. Again, that was the Kremlin spokesperson, and this is the first time he said enemy, because it's not something to be said lightly. Now, you know that Washington and Moscow have never seen eye to eye. They've been on opposite sides in a number of conflicts, most recently in Ukraine. But through 2 years of the Ukraine war, Moscow went out of its way to avoid calling the U.S. an enemy state.
Let me pause it real quick. Shaquille at the water for the keeping the $2 drive alive. Greatly appreciate you. Now they acknowledge that we are an enemy to them. This is good. This is how you let your, I got kids that watch this channel, so I'm not gonna say it, but this is how you let your cojones hang. There we go. This is how you let your cojones hang, man. It said we're an enemy to them, right? And they're an enemy to us. It's just a fact. Let's stop playing games here. But it said that they used to go out of their way to not call America the enemy. But what is God doing? In Ezekiel 38, he says, and I will bring you back. I will put hooks in your jaws and bring you back. I mean, he's going to force the Soviets, the East, right? Starting with Russia and its allies, to have that disdain and hatred towards America and the West, specifically NATO. Now, and not every member in NATO, because remember, some of the NATO members are going to join with BRICS. That's Bible. Let's keep going.
Just look at Peskov again. Barely 3 months ago, he said that the U.S. was not the enemy, that Russia did not have any anti-American sentiments. But that has changed now. Why? Perhaps because of last week's escalation. Last week, the United States gave Ukraine a green light to strike Russian territory using American weapons.
I told you guys. How are you guys sending me these articles and you don't even know why? Everybody's like, Deacon, did you see this? It's true. It's true. Deacon, it's true. 1 second. Sour sop tea. You cowards, not me. Nigga, sour sop tea. You cowards, not me. SOI resurrected so the water from becoming a Sakari flex, sir. Use some of them custom-made emojis I got you. Represent and stay fresh like a peppermint. And shout out to the Russian president. Bars. Okay, so I'll kill y'all. I had to have it. I don't want it, I need it. I don't want it, I need it. Okay. So only one person got it right in the whole chat. Is that fatal consequences over miscalculations in Ukraine. The Kremlin Monday said the U.S. could face fatal consequences if it ignores Moscow's warnings that Ukraine should not use weapons provided by Washington to attack Russia. Now, here's what I don't understand, everybody. What's the difference between America sending, what is it? How much money have they sent already? Let's see. How much money has the U.S. sent to Ukraine? Okay. It's important to note that, okay, so about 200 billion. 200 billion. Now, war is funny. War is funny. And of course, both sides lie and both sides put out their propaganda that they want perpetuated. So I understand that. But what did you think, Vladimir? What did you think they were doing with the money? Because now you're mad and you're sending troops to the Caribbean and you're saying you're going to target NATO, and it's about to escalate with America. What did you think Ukraine was going to do with the money? Pocket it? Buy Jolly Ranchers? So that's why I say it's funny. And then I know for a fact that America was already sending weapons. So why is he mad now? It would have to be, my best guess, it would have to be because now they're saying NATO is in Ukraine. And so maybe they're the ones firing the missiles to Russian territory. Because I know for a fact, watch, America sends military aid to Ukraine. Right? It had to be military aid. U.S. sending. Okay, this is from April 25th. This is from April 25th. Yeah. That too. Ariala got a point too. It's because they're attacking the motherland. They're not just defending Ukraine at this point. They're attacking Mother Russia. Mother Russia. Kind of rhymes with mother. Another word that we shouldn't use. So this is from April 25th, right, from Al Jazeera. The United States quietly sent long-range ballistic missiles to Ukraine as part of a package of military support in March, and Ukraine has used the weapons twice, according to U.S. officials. So they've been using weapons already. So I think what Ariel is saying is correct. He just sent me a text. Let's check this out. Dozens killed, including child in Ukraine. Dozens killed. Kyiv forces have targeted a village shop in Kherson. Vladimir Sloto has said at least 22 civilians have been killed in Ukrainian shelling targeting the village of Sedan in Russia. Okay, so yeah, they're attacking Russian territory. I think that's going to get covered in this video. If not, I'll probably revisit that article. But I think Ariala probably has the best explanation of why he's this angry now to send troops to America's backyard at this point. Because again, if Al Jazeera knows America was sending weapons a couple months ago, and even way before that, I'm sure, then of course Vladimir would have had to known. So the only way he could be this irate is because now they're using those same weapons to target Mother Russia, right? Everybody agree on that? That's probably the most sensible explanation of why he's irate to the point of sending troops over here to America's backyard. Shaquille again, Putin says he is going to engage against French troops who go and train Ukraine troops also in Ukraine, hitting deep Russia with the U.S. missiles. Right. Somebody said, yeah, Pusheisty angry, the real Pusheisty. Hit that like button. All right. So we could all agree on that. Okay. That seems the most logical. That seems the most logical here. What the heck? Okay. So let's continue to hear what she says here.
Why? Perhaps because of last week's escalation. Last week, the United States gave Ukraine a green light to strike Russian territory using American weapons. Ukraine has already begun doing so. They're using American weapons to strike inside Russia, and Russia is furious. Putin says Ukraine is striking Russian territory with the help of Western specialists.
The missile strikes against Russia are done by the Western specialists.
I don't think you guys know how glorious this is. Thank you. Listen, all praises to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. This is absolutely amazing. Literally. Hopefully I'm saying this right. Waday Rashad the water for becoming a Sakari frontliner. Oh my goodness. You just took all the flexors out. You just took all the flexors out. Ramayat, the Water King, Shalom, brother. So this is great, man. This is great. You got NATO over there, and they're directing Ukraine on how to use the missiles that the U.S. gave them. That's why they're called specialists, Western specialists.
We have no illusions about that. What must we do in response? First of all, we will improve our air defense systems to destroy the missiles. Secondly, we think that if someone thinks it is possible to supply such weapons to a combat zone to strike at our territory and create problems for us, why do we not have the right to supply our weapons of the same class to those regions of the world where there will be strikes on the sensitive facilities of those countries that are doing this against Russia?
You heard what he said. Basically, Putin has threatened to turn the tables, to send Russian weapons to Western enemies. Long-range weapons that could strike sensitive facilities in the West. And this means that Western enemies could get the ability to strike them at will. It would be a security nightmare for the Western nations that are helping Ukraine.
In the end, if we see that these countries become involved in a war against us, what they are doing makes them directly involved in a war against the Russian Federation, we reserve the right to act the same way. Overall, it leads to some serious problems.
That was Putin's threat. But he isn't just content with that. He's also going for a show of force. Russia is sending combat vessels to the Caribbean Sea, to America's doorstep. Russia will participate in naval exercises in the Caribbean, along with Cuba and possibly Venezuela. Russian aircraft may also be deployed in the region and won't stop there. Here is what US officials have said, and I'm quoting. We anticipate that this summer Russia will conduct heightened naval and air activity near the United States. These actions will culminate in a global Russian naval exercise this fall. Now, Russia regularly conducts drills in America's backyard, but this time they're expected to be quote unquote heightened. And the drills will continue for weeks, if not months. This is clearly muscle flexing. Russia wants to show that even while it is busy with Ukraine, it has firepower to spare.
Woo-wee. He is the club. Listen, man, I know you guys might get mad at me for saying this, but you know, I'm not going to say, but I'll say one thing. Vladimir Putin is the closest thing to like a real ancient king and war general. Like the whole world is lying. The West is lying, saying that Ukraine is winning, while even some sources in the West counter that and say, oh no, that's a lie. Like the Ukrainian women can't even, there's a shortage of men over there. That's a fact. It's been laid flat, and the death toll is a staggering amount. But the global narrative, the West is shaping this narrative to say Ukraine is winning. So Russia's like, we're whooping these guys' ass, and then we're still about to do Navy drills in the backyard of the #1 superpower of the world. That's how much firepower we have to spare. That's how much we want to flex our muscle. And they said it's going to go on for months. Let's hope it continues to escalate. Let's go.
And that it can hurt any enemy anywhere in the world. All of this posturing is reminiscent of a different era, of the Cold War, when Russia and the US were constantly on the brink of war, and the rest of us were hoping to not be caught in the nuclear fallout. The world does not need to go back to the Cold War era. Russia and the West need to de-escalate and let the cooler heads prevail.
That's not going to happen. I know you look like Krishna and Shiva and Dharma and what else is over there in Hinduism? Right? The Brahmin, right? That's not going to happen. I know in the Upanishads and the Rig Veda, they don't teach you guys about prophecy in Hinduism. But in the living God, the word of the living God, there's prophecy. And it states that the US and Russia will not have cooler heads and come to some type of diplomatic agreement. We're on the brinks of war, and we're going to stay there because the time is nigh. The grapes are ripe. The clusters are ripe. And the sickle is ready to be thrusted. No Diddy.
First Post reports from the world's second largest, from the heart of.
Let me play another clip. The Caribbean is going to be crazy because the Netherlands might be in the Caribbean also. They finna use several islands as strategic points. Cuba is St. Martin, Puerto Rico, and Venezuela. Yeah, I think that's what she said as well. Let me play another. I got something else for you guys. Okay, so we talked about why they're about to do military drills over here. Now, there's another thing that we need to deal with. No, I'm saying we talked about them coming over here. Now we're going to get deeper into why, right? And we talked a little bit about it, but now let's take a look at this content right here. Fair use. This is going to be our thoughts and comments on this content. Let's take a look.
Jake here. Putin's starting to crack. U.S. officials confirm Ukraine's June strikes inside of Russia with American weapons. We've already known this has been going on for a week, but U.S. officials are now talking about it. The change in policy that Western weapons can be used on the territory of Russia. And President Biden, in an interview, basically told Putin he can go kick rocks. Biden vows Ukraine will not use U.S. weapons to strike Moscow. So you're safe, Putin. The core territory of the Russian Federation is not being attacked. It's not being threatened. There's no justification for using a nuclear weapon. And if you don't like Western weapons being used in the border areas, then stop attacking Ukraine. All you have to do is go back to your own country and stay there.
Now, this guy seems pro-American and pro-Ukrainian, and he's clearly compromised by the West because Russia and Ukraine was once one country, and there was a deal on the table that NATO would not further their expansion toward the east. And this is what they're doing, trying to induct Ukraine into NATO, breaking every treaty with everybody everywhere in the world, like they've been doing for 500 years. So he's saying they're not striking the core territory of Russia, but they're striking some of the outskirts of the territories of Russia.
And the war is over. It's a pretty sweet deal for the Russians at...
No, it's not. The war is not over, because then what? Ukraine gets to be inducted in a part of NATO. And then now you have nuclear silos right at the front door of Russia. Putin's not going to let that happen.
This point. Western permission for strikes inside of Russia stops S-300 attacks on the city of Kharkiv for days. Russia had converted an S-300 air defense system to go ground to ground. It's not very accurate, but when you're just indiscriminately killing civilians in the city of Kharkiv, you don't really care about accuracy. So Ukraine used the HIMARS to blow this up, and the attacks stopped. The city of Kharkiv is safer today because the policy changed in the last week. So I got a clip of Putin, and before I show it, I want to share the parody account, Darth Putin. Day 832 of my 3-day war. My attack on Kharkiv caused the West to greenlight attacks on Russia, showed my red lines to be meaningless, and led to cataclysmic casualties. I remain a master strategist. So here's an amazing clip.
He's trolling.
Are you thick as two short planks? Putin decided to give a press conference to Western journalists just so he could yell at some Westerners. These journalists don't make policy, they're just there to take notes of what Putin says. So I've got two clips for you, and the first one is Putin yelling at the Western journalists. He's furious that Western weapons are now being used on the territory of Russia. This is a translation from Italka. This is what Putin has to say. Don't concoct anything, and don't form opinions about Russia based on these fictions. There is no need to create...
He's horrible. Let's just go to the article, because he's unbearable. No salt, no season, no Johnnies, no Larrys, just regular, no salt cracker. So Russian war, this is from AP, and it says Russian warships headed to Caribbean for drills as tension rise over Ukraine, U.S. officially say. So we talked about this, but I really want to go to why. Let's see. Putin warns he could provide weapons to attack the West and issue the new nuclear threat. Okay, that's what we need to do. NBC News from today. Okay, good. Let's click out of that. We want nuclear war. To hell with long-range ballistic missiles. To hell with Scud missiles and cruise missiles. Give us an ICBM missile. Give us a nuke. But before we read that video, I want to make one announcement real quick. I said read that video. Before we read this article, I want to give an announcement. We've been giving out free scholarships to join the Sakari Varsity Online Academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics. Okay, we've been blessed enough to have, some funding available for, individuals who may not have the means to get into the Sakari Varsity Online Academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics. So we were able to get 7 students on the scholarship, and now we are looking to get 3 more students on a scholarship. How do you qualify? By simply emailing me at sakariseattle@gmail.com. It's on the bottom of the screen right here. sakariseattle@gmail.com. And give me a little, tell me about yourself a little bit. Don't make it too long. Tell me about yourself. Why would you want to join the apologetics? And don't feel intimidated. Some people say, I don't think I can keep up. It's too scholarly. We do all kind of work in the Sakari Varsity, scholarly work, history, archaeology, the fundamentals, the basics, right? If you don't start somewhere, you won't get nowhere. So yeah, hit my email and let's see if we could pick 3 more students on a scholarship for the Sakari Varsity Online Academy specializing in Hebrew apologetics. All praises to the Most High. Now let's continue. Okay. So we want nuclear war. Nukes. Putin warns he could provide weapons to attack the West and issues new nuclear threat. He's mad. They gave weapons. He's mad. They're using weapons. NATO is in Ukraine, and they also have missile specialists showing the Ukrainians how to use them properly. Excuse me. President Joe Biden said Thursday, this is yesterday, actually, I thought it was from today, that the Russian leader had concerned me for 40 years. So Putin has been living rent-free in Joe Biden's head for 40 years. I thought I live rent-free in Israelites' head. That's why I got a song coming out called Everybody. I can't even finish it, but you guys will hear it. I wanted to give you a dose, but I can't. But I thought I was living rent-free in people's heads. Like, all camps hate me, non-camps hate me, Christians hate me, Muslims hate me, the heathens just hate me. Inside the Nation Radio, my brother Abaya hates me. It's like I'm joking. I see Inside the Nation Radio. I'm playing with you, my good brother for many, many years. Shalom, brother. Make sure y'all go check out Inside the Nation Radio. But yeah, he's been living rent-free in Joe Biden's head for 40 years. The dreadful thought of Vladimir Putin. Now, if you're the most powerful country in the whole world, right? Imagine being the most powerful country in the whole world, and another country's leader is living rent-free in your head for the last 40 years. Russian President Vladimir Putin has unleashed a slew of new threats, suggesting he could provide arms to countries to hit Western targets, and rattling his nuclear saber yet again. Well, that's good. Send them nukes to Cuba. Send them nukes to all of the people that you're supposed to be a guard to, according to the Bible. Remember, in Ezekiel 38, it says that, and this isn't limited to these countries, but it's talking about Gog, which is the leader, which would be Vladimir right now, and then Magog, which is the land of Russia and its territories. And then it mentions these countries in verse 5, right? Also, it talks about Gomer and all of his bands in Togarmah and the quarters of the north quarters, Persia being Iran, Ethiopia is where they are now, Libya is North Africa. So this is just a few of the countries that the Bible says that the Russians will be a guard to. Verse 7 says, and be a guard unto them, be a big brother to them. So they could easily equip Iran, even though Iran got their own program, equip Ethiopia, equip North Africa, equip Cuba, equip North Korea, which they got their own program as well. But this is good. This is great. And we need this to happen. Give these other countries some nukes. And I know they're working on their own programs, but give them some ready to go nukes and play the same game that America's playing. Play the same game that America's playing. Russian President Vladimir Putin has, his warning, a response to the decision by the United States and its European allies to allow Ukraine to attack some Russian territory using their weapons. Right? This is what it's all about. Was the latest Kremlin threat against greater support for Kyiv? The Russian leader also insisted that Washington and its partners were wrong to assume he would never use nuclear weapons. They're saying, man, Putin's not going to use a nuke. Well, how else do you think the Bible says America, which is Mystery Babylon? Look at this. Hold on. Where's it at? Here we go. Watch this. Watch this. Where is it at? It says, what does it say in 1 hour? What verse is that? Where are you Bible scholars at? Okay, verse 11. No, okay, verse 10. So I'm going to read 8 and 10. In Revelation 18, if you think he's not going to use a nuke, you got the Bible messed up. You got the Most High messed up. Revelation 11 and 8. I'm sorry, 18 and 8. Therefore shall her, Mystery Babylon, America, her plagues come in one day. They're not going to. So America's what, 4,500 square miles? That would take a lot of regular missiles to just pellet this place when they can just do maybe 4 nukes. Let's see. How many nukes would destroy America? How many nukes will it take to destroy the U.S.? Oh, okay. They're saying about 10 nukes. About 10 nukes, right? So, yeah. How many nukes does Russia have? I think they got about 10. How many nukes does Russia have? Oh, they got 5,500. 5,580 as of 2024. Russia's deployed missiles number about so I think they could spare 10 nuclear missiles and still have 5,570. So the prophecy says in one day, in mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. How's America going to be destroyed? By fire. For strong is the Lord God that judges her. Oh, so that means God's going to rain down fire and brimstone? No. The other prophecies let you know who the enemies of Babylon is and who's going to destroy Babylon. God uses nations to destroy nations. That's in the Bible. That's in the text. So this is going to be fire from war. Verse 10 says, standing afar off, these other nations are going to be like, wow, this is crazy. America's really destroyed. And then verse 10, they're going to be standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. 1 hour. Now, why does it say 1 hour? That's what I always wondered. How long will it take a nuke to get here? How long will it take a nuke? Okay, let's see from Russia. Oh, about a half an hour. Okay. What about from China? See, the Bible is cold. Because I don't think it just says an hour for a non-important reason. Okay, so for China, 30 minutes. And what if they shot it from North Korea? 40 minutes? Now, what if they shot it from Iran? How quickly could Iran? How long would it take to nuke to reach from US from Iran? Okay, it doesn't have that on there. But within an hour, so the Bible is correct. Within an hour, these nukes are going to reach America. And according to the data, you know, Russia and China and America's main enemies, it'll be within an hour for nukes to reach America. Now, if their naval ships are closer, that's even closer. That's even a more shorter time period. Yeah, and it depends if it goes west or east. That's true. That's true. 1 hour is thy judgment come. In response, President Joe Biden said Thursday, Putin was a dictator. I mean, Joe Biden, you're a dictator. Awakening Sister, the water for the super chat donation, greatly appreciate you. Dallin Cooper, that was Revelation chapter 18. Revelation chapter 18. Biden's a dictator. I mean, we can't. I mean, what freedoms do we have over here that they don't have in Russia? Please, somebody tell me. Please, somebody tell me. This is a dictator country, America. Leaders give offer. U.S. test nuclear missiles. So now the U.S. is testing nuclear missiles. This is great. Come on, we need this friction. Right, huh? Biden apologizes to Zelensky. Power in Ukraine has been usurped. That is true. So now it's basically America over there. Is that what he's saying? Power in Ukraine has been usurped, have lost their legitimacy. Friday. So he said this today, that Vladimir Zelensky's official term as the country's head of state expired last month. So who has the power now? I guess his presidency ended last month. Zelensky, who was also Jewish, might I add. Ain't that crazy? So this is the article that Arialis sent me. Dozens killed, including child in Ukrainian strike on Russia region. U.S. may expand nuclear arsenal. Oh, they're scared. I'm scared. Power in Ukraine. So let's look at this real quick. U.S. tests nuclear missile, and we're on RT right now. We are on RT. Somebody said, "LOL, did you Google that?" Did I Google what? U.S. tests nuclear missiles. The American military has announced it carried out 2 tests of international continental ballistic missiles, also known as ICBMs, over the past 3 days, describing the launches as routine and unrelated to world events. Yeah, let's just blow away the ozone layer and the firmament and all of our oxygen in the atmosphere. Let's just destroy the aerospace. Oh shoot, 2 Minuteman III missiles. That's funny. Were launched from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California on Tuesday. Did anybody see that in California on June 4th on Tuesday? Did anybody see them testing those 2 nuclear missiles? Anybody? Okay. So they were able to travel 4,200 miles before splashing down. Okay. Whew. That's long range like LeBron's James. Hold on 1 second. One second, y'all. My apologies, y'all. Okay, where we at? I'm gonna go to Al Jazeera. Ukraine begins strikes on Russia. So this is Al Jazeera. Do that first, and I ride with you. Then take me. Okay, I need to go soon. So where is all this at in the Bible, right? Because I promised something. I did promise something, right? Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So we understand that, of course. I believe this is in reference to what happened back then, but we can apply this, of course, to this end all be all war that's about to happen. This is going to be with burning and fuel of fire, warheads exploding on contact. Is this the KJV right here? So in the KJV, I don't know if this is the KJV. Oh, it's the New King James. So you have this vision that the prophet is seeing of a brick versus NATO showdown. We see this in Zechariah chapter 1 with the prophet, right? And he's confused by what he sees. Zechariah. Verse 18 says, then I raised up mine eyes and looked, and there was 4 horns. We understand how the Bible depicts horns as nations, countries, empires, and we know that there's more than 4 horns in NATO, but it's focusing on key players. And in Daniel 7, you'll read about these horns as well, right? So the prophet says, what are these horns? And the angel says, these are the horns that have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem, right? These are Gentile nations, Gentile empires, Gentile kingdoms who has scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. What does it mean when it says Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem? The southern kingdom, the northern kingdom, and even took the land. That's what it means, Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Then the Lord showed me 4 craftsmen. In the King James, it says carpenter. But these are dealing with, 4 powers that have nuclear capabilities. We went through this breakdown so long ago. Rhoda Chef in the building. Shalom to my brother Ro to the no. My brother Ro from the no. I thought you was finna get that to me. What happened? Is you pump faking like a young Aikman? Because you was supposed to get that to me days ago. There's a deadline of tomorrow morning. I love you guys. Who I got on here? There's 3 brothers left that's supposed to send me something. 1, 2, 3, 4, actually. I'm going to give y'all till Saturday morning. Now, let's see. So here we have the BRIC being mentioned in verse 20. Brazil, Russia, India, China, right? Okay, cool. All praises, brother. And now the prophet's like, oh, well, what are these 4 carpenters? What are these 4 craftsmen? And he's like, oh, these are about to come and destroy the horns that scattered the Israelites. Now, did the Russians have something to do with our captivity? Minimally rather. But did they want to help us at all? Absolutely not. Who's Broken Jim saying I got you? Because I'm looking for a Prince Suave, my brother Devontae, Gaza, and Ro. That's the 4 I'm looking for. Now, so this is where you see the BRIC verse NATO prophecy here. We broke this down many times. Of course, Ezekiel 38. Somebody said South Africa too. Yeah, but South Africa is not a key factor. They're not even in it for the military. They're in it for strategic geographical location and economics. Broken Jim says, I'll send you the email. What are you talking about? Atlanta Prospect. Email for what? Okay, so let's continue. So in Ezekiel 38, like the lady said, she was like, oh, cooler heads are going to prevail. We don't need another Cold War scare. Cooler heads will not prevail, as Bible prophecy that doesn't fail, bars, always happens. Ezekiel 38 is clear. Cooler heads will not prevail. Ariella Sakari, correct. Jeremiah 51. I'm going fast, y'all, because I got to make it to this. I got to make it somewhere. I got to end kind of early, Salakia. But in Jeremiah 51, it tells you the nations that are literally going to destroy modern day Babylon. This is why we have comfort and so much excitement, and we don't have a care in the world because we know what's going to happen. We are the prophets. Jeremiah 51, it tells you about Babylon, and this ain't ancient Babylon. We went over this 1,000 times. I could easily prove that, right? Because ancient Babylon didn't get burned till it was nothing anymore. That's going to happen in modern day Babylon. But in verse 27, it tells you the kingdoms, right? The kingdoms. The kingdom of Ararat. Ararat is modern day Turkey. Again, we went over this so many times. You can look it up. That's modern day Turkey. We see Turkey trying to even join BRIC, but they're a part of NATO. Wow. That's Bible. The kingdom of Mene, sometimes pronounced Mene. You look that up, that's Iraq. I'm sorry, Iran. We see how Ezekiel 38 said Russia and Iran will be linked up, and we see that in real time. And then it says in Ashkenaz, that's Russian territory. If you look it up, it says modern day Ukraine. When you go into it, when you look at the lexicon, modern Ukraine, which is a part of that Russian territory. Then it says the Medes, Russian territory to be exact, right? They're all going to come and destroy the mighty men of Babylon and burn her till it be a burnt mountain. That's what the Bible says, right? So I just wanted to report on that. It's escalating. Keep praying that it escalates. Don't pray it die down. Pray it escalates. The destruction of this world and its powers, not just America, but all its powers, is synonymous with our deliverance and our kingdom. All right? So hasten the day. Make sure your house is in order. All right? Let's end this by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. We do so by Hashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Until next time, Shalom. Peace and blessings.